to Bad Movie Beatdown! Today I'm reviewing a superhero movie so bad it makes you want to set your head on fire. It's Ghost Rider! Ghost Rider is one of many superheroes that has been translated from comics to the silver screen, and yes, of course he's a Marvel character. The Ghost Rider is the devil's bounty hunter, and his name is Johnny Blaze, who in this movie is sent to retrieve escaped demons from hell. Basically, it's like the TV show Reaper if the lead had a flaming skull and you actually watched Reaper. What? I watched Reaper? I was like one of 5 people who did. Nicolas Cage signed up to play Blaze based on the fact that he is a huge fan of the comic book, so much so that he has a tattoo of Ghost Rider. Hired to direct is Mark Steven Johnson, who did another Marvel Comics adaptation, Daredevil. Daredevil was not entirely Johnson's fault, as the producer tampered with the movie in post-production against Johnson's wishes. Johnson later managed to set the record straight with his director's cut, which greatly improved that movie. So Johnson gets a second chance, and what does he do? He completely screws it up, and this time he's the only one to blame. Incidentally, this is the extended cut, which lengthens the movie by nearly 20 minutes. Oh, deep joy. So our film begins with Sam Elliot telling us about the legend of the Ghost Rider, passed through the ages, although for a second I thought I was watching Jonah Hex.
Many years ago, a Ghost Rider was sent to the village of San Venganza to fetch a contract worth 1,000 evil souls. But that contract was so powerful, he knew he could never let the devil get his hands on it, so he did what no rider has ever done before. He outran the devil himself.
How exactly does one outrun the devil? Sure, it sounds cool, but he's the devil, the embodiment of evil. If he wants something, he takes it. He's the bloody devil! So we move forward in time to meet a father and son stunt motorcycle duo, the Blazes, with son Johnny and his father Barton. One thing that is immediately apparent is that Barton smokes, and that every time he does so, he hacks up a lung. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. Oh man, wonder what's causing all that coughing. Pass me those smokes. Anyway, Johnny is in love with Roxanne, and you can tell because Johnny carved it into this tree. They'll be together forever and forever.
What's wrong, Roxy?
I'm leaving.
What?
My dad's sending me to live with my mom.
You're leaving? But I just carved that we'd be together onto this tree! No! Roxanne and Johnny decide to make a plan to run away together, and that she'll meet him under the tree tomorrow. I sure hope no satanic bargain gets in the way of that! That night, Johnny discovers a letter that says his father's cancer has spread and that he's dying. Luckily, whilst Johnny's working on his bike at the fair, a Peter Fonda-shaped opportunity comes a-knocking, bursting a few light bulbs.
Far out.
Yes, I was an Easy Rider. Now where's my check? So yeah, Johnny listens to this mysterious black-coated man with a skull cane who has showed up in the middle of the night.
Worried about your father. The thing about cancer is the time it takes. Lives that are altered. Plans that have to be changed.
I think that's the point where I would terminate the conversation.
What if I could help your dad?
Oh.
How is not important. What if I could make him better? Would you be willing to make a deal?
Name your price.
Oh, do exactly what you wish based on vague promises, sinister man followed by thunderclaps. The only hesitation Johnny has is when Mephistopheles says it's for his soul. For about 5 seconds, because by the prick of his thumb, he's done the deal. You'd think he'd have just a few more questions like, who are you and how do you know so much? But he's a stunt biker, so there's probably not much going on in his head. But maybe it was all just a dream as Johnny wakes up to find his father alive and sprightly because the cancer's completely gone. I'm sure this won't tragically backfire in a stunt.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher.
Oh, what a surprise, he did. Hope you like your daddy flame grilled, son.
Dad. Dad.
They probably should have hired someone who doesn't fake cry on camera. Johnny tries to ride away on Grace, his father's bike which he gave him before he died, but suddenly Mephistopheles appears in front of him, causing him to crash. If he can do that, why didn't he do that at the start of the movie? Outrun the devil my ass! Does this guy not know a single Faustian tale in his life? Granted, I don't expect him to know the term Faustian, but obviously he'd be smarter than this. Oh, and he leaves Roxanne. Another big shock. Do you know how long it's taken the movie to go through this? 18 minutes! It took them nearly 20 minutes to tell this prologue that shouldn't have even taken half of that! I could understand if it gave more characterization to his father, but it doesn't because he has maybe 10-12 lines before he's offed. It's going to be a while before Ghost Rider even shows up, isn't it? And you'd be right, because we skip forward many years to see that Johnny Blaze has become a big celebrity and that he's now played by Nicolas Cage. Damn, the aging process was rough. Lay off the drugs, man. Johnny's deal with the devil means that he does increasingly stupid and risky stunts, like jumping over this field of trucks, knowing that even if he botches the landing, the devil won't let him die as much as he wants to. As you might expect, Cage is playing it firmly in eccentric hound dog mode. Cage has 3 modes: eccentric, batshit crazy, and Disney. And I only wish he was batshit crazy in this one. Alongside him is Johnny's disapproving best friend, Mac.
They call him Mr. Invincible, and he'll have to be at his next jump when Johnny Blaze will attempt to clear the length of a football field from field goal to field goal.
You should be taking a dirt nap after that ragdoll today. Luck don't cover it, JB. And you got an angel looking after you.
What's the ante? 5-card draw.
Maybe it's something else.
So, no one finds it odd that Johnny went face first into the front wheel before skidding tens of feet into the barrier and not injure anything? I mean, I know there's miracles, but then they're suspiciously impossible. In the middle of the desert, Mephistopheles' son, Blackheart, played by Wes Bentley, arrives out of hell and goes to a biker bar where we can tell that he's evil because he sucks out this guy's soul. Also, he looks like a rejected audition for Twilight. This is Blackheart in the comics. Yeah, I'm not sure how that translated to a pussy and emo makeup. When your villain kills an entire bar and we don't have a trace of fear, you've got serious problems. Oh, and he's brought his little buddies. Earth, water and air. They all look equally imposing, which is to say not at all. I was more terrified by the bloody Marx Brothers. They're after the contract of San Vaganza, the contract from the prologue, which was hidden in a cemetery somewhere near. Blackheart's father shows up, even though he's powerless to stop his son for some vague reason, threatening the Ghost Rider.
I may not have power over you in this world, but my rider does.
The Ghost Rider? The power of hellfire wasted on a pathetic human? If you had trusted me, if you had given me what was rightfully mine!
Wah! Wah! Our villain is basically a petulant teenager. You're giving us new reasons for us not to be afraid of him every minute. Anyway, back to Johnny. You can clearly tell that Nick's been involved in the writing process because the Nick Cage-ness is off the scale!
I just ran a second check on the ramps. They look good. Crowd's kind of out of control.
He's about 2 steps shy of bringing back the bunny in the box routine. Johnny doesn't do interviews, except to Roxanne, who's now a reporter. They have to do a flashback here because we wouldn't be able to tell who Eva Mendes is playing otherwise.
Johnny Blaze, thank you for talking to us before your big jump. What's going through your mind right now?
You look really good. I've seen you on TV. You know, I watch a lot of TV, and you do a really good job.
Did I mention that I have an erection? I'm not sure if you can tell in these tight leathers. I really am wondering if Nick Cage is playing Johnny as mentally disabled. He's certainly not on speaking terms with the younger actor, because Johnny's picked up a twang I don't recall him having. He goes to do his jump, except that he's replaced the cars with 6 Black Hawk helicopters because it's the anniversary of his father's death, and that his father thought that enough with the flashbacks! Good God, man, we don't need to be reminded of everything that happened in the first 20 minutes. So Johnny makes the jump and, you know what, I don't care. This is irrelevant. There's no tension because we know he can't die, and all I'm asking myself is, when is Ghost Rider gonna show up? But nope, the banality just keeps on coming. You see, Roxanne left before the stunt, and upon completion, Johnny races off to get her, even though she's at least a good 15 to 20 minutes ahead of him. What I find truly amazing is how bad the green screen and CGI in this scene is. Call it a hunch, but I don't think Nick is actually riding that bike. He eventually gets her to stop and asks her out on a date, which she accepts. Oh, and all those people behind them want Johnny's autograph.
Move out the way, you ignorant, stupid mother!
But then again, Roxanne doesn't seem like a fully developed person either, because she consults her magic 8-ball when Johnny is late.
What are you, 6 years old, woman?
Anyway, Johnny notices his hands are getting hot, which is either due to furious masturbation or because the Ghost Rider might actually bloody appear now. But nope, Mephistopheles has to show up first.
Nice bike.
We get it! You're an easy rider! Enough with the in-jokes! He shows up to tell Johnny to get Blackheart and forces him into the transformation sequence, which causes lots of cool explosions for the trailer! Blackheart is at the train yard, where he has just killed an innocent worker, and at just over 45 minutes in, Nick Cage does actually transform into the rider.
It's about bloody time!
Looking for someone?
Back to hell.
We're not gonna have a meaningful conversation now, are we?
You're going down.
Apparently Ghost Rider speaks entirely in stock phrases. Also, Ghost Rider turns out to be a bit shit, getting beaten up pretty badly, culminating in being crushed by a truck. Obviously a thing like that won't stop the Devil's bounty hunter, and he soon kills the Earth Demon by whipping his chain around him.
So the guy can summon earthquakes at will, and what does he do? He hits Ghost Rider with a truck and that's it. Pretty lame!
Anyway, Ghost Rider rides on his bike and encounters a woman being mugged.
Look into my eyes.
Wow, that seemed harsh. I know he's a criminal, but I don't think he's really worthy of having his soul being incinerated. As daybreak approaches, the rider drives into a graveyard where he reverts back to Johnny when the sun rises, crawling towards his father's grave.
Symbolism!
He's taken in by Sam Elliott's caretaker.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel like my skull's on fire, but I'm good. Did I say something funny?
Ironic. We're big on irony around here.
I could tell from your first line.
Morning, bonehead.
The movie's gonna be making more of these stupid puns, isn't it? So Caretaker explains to Johnny what just happened to him whilst patching up his knife wound. Apparently trucks don't leave a mark on Ghost Rider, but knives do. Yes, that makes total sense. Good thing we're not applying this consistently.
What's this have to do with Blackheart?
Blackheart. He sent you after Blackheart.
And others.
They're hidden. They hide within the elements, waiting for the end of days. You better hang around here, kid. They can't come onto hallowed ground.
They can't come on hallowed ground, yet they're looking for a cemetery. That might be a problem. Johnny goes off to see last night's destruction, and it looks like New York taxes just went up.
Could you tell us about the Good Samaritan?
Well, I'll never forget him, that's for sure. His face was a skull, and it was on fire.
On fire?
Yeah, like... It was an edge look, but he totally pulled it off.
You know, for a movie about the Devil's bounty hunter, they do shoehorn in a lot of comic relief. Wouldn't want the tone to get too dark in a movie about the devil. Hey, Nick, how about a shower? Nice CGI six-pack you got there. That and the wig totally don't make it obvious that you're 10 years too old for this part. He tries to control his powers when Roxanne shows up, claiming that she's leaving town, then starts kissing him, even though she chewed him out a scene ago. The dude was late for the date already. I think you're within rights to dump him. But then Johnny has to go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like he sold his soul to the devil.
That's why I couldn't make it to dinner.
Because you were working for the devil.
Well, yeah, but it only happens at night.
So tonight, you'll...
I believe so.
Johnny, I know you're not the brightest guy and all, but how about you show her? When you can summon satanic forces at will, it's pretty easy to believe. Oh, what a shock. She doesn't believe him. That's when the police show up and arrest Johnny for the murder of the train yard worker.
We have your plate and a tread from your tires at the crime scene. We have a witness who will testify that the suspect used some kind of fire effect, an effect just like the ones that you use in your stunt shows.
I didn't kill anybody.
Bullshit!
They have his license plate, so what? There's probably loads of child license plates from the exploding cars. All the other evidence is circumstantial, and those are some pretty big leaps in your deductions, Sherlock. But nope, they think they've cracked the case, so they throw Johnny into the tank overnight to try and get him to talk. The criminals want to fight him because that's what they do. Careful, Nick, you go crazy and you'll ignite! Oh, now you did it!
You innocent.
Thanks for clarifying. So Ghost Rider rides off to confront Blackheart, who has gone to a church to look for the contract, walking on hallowed ground. You know, like he supposedly can't do. And sends Air after the rider. Unfortunately, the police are also chasing him, so he rides up a building Roxanne happens to be on the other side of, convincing her of Johnny's story. The rider and Air clash on the roof.
You cannot catch the wind!
Oh hey, this guy might pose a serious threat! So much for that. I guess you can catch the wind. The rider goes down the building to confront the police. Yeah, shooting the clearly supernatural being that just went down a skyscraper was a great idea, wasn't it? I also have a funny feeling that Johnny won't wake up with a chest full of lead. And I was right, by the way, as Johnny goes to see Caretaker for more exposition.
Carter Slade?
Legend has it he was a Texas Ranger. Slade made a deal. Ended up a Ghost Rider.
What's he got to do with this?
Remember that contract the stranger made with the people of San Venganza?
He stole it.
Keep Mephistopheles from getting his hands on it. Some people say he was buried with it.
Was he?
I don't know.
We know it's you. You did the narration at the start. You're another Ghost Rider. It's not a surprise. Caretaker tells Johnny to stay away from anyone Blackheart can use against him because the writers saw Spider-Man.
The heart, Osborn. First, we attack his heart.
Later, with Caretaker, after Johnny is left, he senses evil, and because apparently he's not familiar with horror cliches, goes outside to confront Blackheart and his remaining flunky, who are looking for the contract.
This is hallowed ground.
Do you think I was like the others? I have all of my father's strengths, and none of his weaknesses.
Okay, so Blackheart can step on hallowed ground. You know, if he doesn't follow that rule, why even bring it up? It's just unnecessarily confusing for the audience. In fact, this scene wasn't in the theatrical cut of the movie, so you can imagine that caused a few plot holes. And no, this scene doesn't go anywhere. Why are you keeping him alive when you've killed everyone else on sight? Oh right, he has more exposition to tell. Roxanne goes to Johnny's apartment where Mac is looking for him, and we're just as surprised to see him as she is, given that he hasn't appeared for the last 45 minutes. We wouldn't bring this character back to kill him off, would we?
Jesus.
Not even close.
Wow, sure didn't predict that Johnny's best friend would get killed off. And apart from a tiny token moment, no one ever mentions him again. Anyway, Blackheart paralyzes Roxy as a trap, springing on Johnny, who quickly turns into the rider and tries to kill him with a penance stare, but Blackheart has no soul to burn.
He thinks you're better than me? I don't know who's more pathetic. You or him?
Oh, if anyone's pathetic, it's certainly you, you moaning, pathetic, weak-voiced goth. Blackheart tells Johnny to get the contract or he'll hurt Roxy. Johnny goes to the Caretaker.
Where's the contract? I can't end this without it.
Good thing that shovel didn't break when Blackheart hit you with it earlier. Then Caretaker reveals himself to be Carter Slade to the surprise of absolutely no one. If he was a Ghost Rider, why didn't he use his power earlier when Blackheart attacked? In fact, isn't he still under contract to Mephistopheles? Oh right, I forgot. He outran the devil. But hell yeah, two Ghost Riders side by side, ready to kick Blackheart's ass. I'm actually pretty hyped.
Stick to the shadows.
Wait, where the hell are you going? I want my big climax!
This is the end of the trail for me. I could only change one more time, and I was saving it for this.
You saved your last Ghost Ride to ride in the desert with your horse. Seems like a bit of a waste to me. The final flunky, Water, attacks Johnny. This is interesting because theoretically, water beats fire, so Johnny's at a disadvantage. So fire beats water underwater? That's like in rock, paper, scissors having paper beat scissors. My goodness, these villains are catastrophically lame. Johnny delivers the contract to Blackheart and they have a fairly weak scrap, with Johnny being thrown into the sunrise so he transforms back. This gives Blackheart enough time to read the contract, filling his body with badly CGI'd souls, whining constantly as this happens.
My name is Legion, for we are many.
Oh, sorry, that was meant to be scary. Excuse me a moment. Oh, and even in Legion form, he's still affected by shotguns. He just has T-1000 powers now. The climax doesn't even involve a lot of fighting, so much as watching lots of special effects. Oh, and Ghost Rider's powers work in the shadows or something. Don't think about it too hard. And because there's 1,000 souls in his body, you guessed it, Ghost Rider uses his penance stare to fry them and kill Legion. You didn't really think this one through, did you, Blackheart? And the fact that he defeated the villain in the same way he defeated a token gangbanger is really anticlimactic.
Congratulations, Johnny. You upheld your end of the bargain. It's time I take back the power of the Ghost Rider. You get your life back. Let someone else carry this curse. You're free now.
No. I'm gonna own this curse, and I'm gonna use it against you.
Really, Johnny? Not only does that decision not make any sense, but he's the devil! He can just snap his fingers like this, and then, oh look! No more Ghost Rider powers! Toodles! Or he could just do that. The devil's kinda lame, isn't he? So Roxy and Johnny kiss and Sam Elliot does an ending spiel. Hey, aren't the police still chasing this guy? Never mind, the end. Ghost Rider, judgment, guilty. First of all, this extended cut is miles too long. Nearly 20 minutes of prologue, 45 minutes before we even get to see the title character. Then of course there's the acting, which is very poor, especially from the bland Eva Mendes and Nicolas Cage, who is more a bunch of cageisms than a performance. Oh, and Peter Fonda barely seems interested. The script is appallingly written, reliant on cringe-worthy cliches, pointless plot threads that go nowhere, and silly comic relief scenes, but the film's biggest failings are in its action scenes and villains. Wes Bentley's Blackheart is a pathetic miscasting, and the bad guys being elements is completely unexploited and are just regular fight scenes. Think of the amazing possibilities you could have used with them!
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling,
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes,
the dead rising from the grave, mass hysteria!
But nope, they're all one-sided curb stomp battles. That means Ghost Rider fails to be interesting at any level. A sequel, Spirit of Vengeance, is out next year, but don't hold too much hope. Neveldine and Taylor are directing, so there's probably going to be loads more scenes where Nicolas Cage pisses fire. I'm Matthew Buck, beating down bad movies everywhere. Oh, and Mark Steven Johnson's back next week.